Family Feud. This is not the first time that I reviewed a Family Feud game. Over 9 years ago, I reviewed Family Feud Decades for the Wii. Time really flies. I loved Family Feud growing up. I used to watch it live back in the 80s with my grandfather. It was one of those shows we would watch together, and one of the major things I think about when I look back at my childhood. Now, unlike my favorite game show, The Price is Right, which I reviewed anytime a copy came out for the Wii, Family Feud never really worked for me as a console game. I did play a copy on the PC back in the 80s, but you could type in your responses on a physical keyboard. And this one, while it lets you use a keyboard, they give you suggestions so you don't actually have to type anything past 3 letters. The downside to this is that if you don't see your answer right away, it's probably not right, so don't pick it. Also, it might give you suggestions for answers you might not have thought of. You can turn off the suggestions in the options, but then you have to just use your cursor to type in the answers, and it's just not worth it. Family Feud is played like this. They have apparently surveyed 100 people, and you have to find all the answers to the questions that people give, as long as 2 people answer the same. 2 is the minimum points you can get, or at least it used to be. I haven't seen Family Feud in years. The first family to get to 300 points will get to Fast Money, where they'll give you 5 questions and you need to come up with a total of 200 points with 10 answers. Now, I had a lot of problems with this game. I think Steve Harvey is the host right now. I have not really watched Family Feud since the 90s, really. I've tuned in here and there. I really hate the computerized board they use now. No more turning of the answers, just digital effects. It's dull. They always use electronics for Fast Money, but they did limit it to that. It's too bad they felt like they needed to update the looks, as it was way better before. The host this time is Lucky McCoy, the most generic host you could ever imagine. He has no personality other than being annoying. He does try to be energetic and like, hey, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that and wee! But it all comes off as fake. Worse yet, all these cutscenes with him talking or pretending like we care about his setup for the family are not skippable. Or at least I could find no button to make it skippable. My only guess as to why they did this was that they wanted to make people feel like they were in the game show. And you can't skip past the boring parts in real life. So enjoy some of Lucky's bad hosting. Now, one of the things I didn't understand is they're telling us that we can win $20,000. And then they pan over to a car.
The family who does the best goes on to play Fast Money and has the chance to win $20,000. Fasten yourselves in for some feuding. Let's hit it!
Are we supposed to sell this car to make $20,000? Is that like a side hustle that we're supposed to do? They don't mention that we win this car, just that it has something to do with $20,000. I know you can win the car, it's in the achievements, however, I'm not sure how. Maybe you play 5 games in a row, but I wasn't going to do that. I played 6 games over all the modes. I wasn't going to spend 2.5 hours hoping I can unlock some mysterious car I don't care about. They do give you a few people you can use as your family members. Or you can actually play alone and be a family of 1. Funny enough, the game actually will make a few references to you being alone. So it does at least acknowledge you're a lone player. The main game itself plays the same as you might have remembered. However, Fast Money has been changed for the worse. Normally, one person is giving 5 survey questions, and then they would give 5 answers, and the host would show you how they did one by one. Then the other person would come out from the soundproof area, and then try not to repeat what the other person said in an answer. But since it was more difficult, they would give you a few more seconds to answer. This time, you give your 5 answers, and then your partner gives their 5 answers. Then you find out how you did at the same time. It was so anticlimactic. Also, for some bizarre reason, they give the second person less time to do it, even though they still warn you not to say the same answer. This is actually a problem in the main game as well. If you give the same answer, they won't tell you. They'll just give you a strike. Normally, the judges will just make you give a different answer. Now, there are 4 kinds of games to play in this, and they're all basically the same, just done slightly differently. Classic, Party Battle, Couch versus Couch, and Live Show. Classic is just the main game where you're all the same family trying to get all the answers, and you pass the controller back and forth. There are 4 difficulty levels: easy, medium, hard, and very hard, with the very hard one needing to be unlocked by playing the other 3. Party Battle has you playing as 2 different families going up against each other, and the only difference between this and Couch versus Couch is that each family gets 1 chance at Fast Money, and the one who wins the main game goes first, and the loser goes second. Now there's also the Live Show, and they say you can use it with the chat functions of Twitch or YouTube to answer the questions in a live playing that you might do with viewers, and the people in the chat can interact with the game you're doing. I can never get it to work, but I've never had luck with these sorts of things, so I have no idea if it actually works well or not. This version of Family Feud is about the worst version I've ever played. However, since I've only played 3 video game versions of it, that moniker is not really that hard to get. The cutscenes are not skippable. The host sucks. And Fast Money has been ruined. If Family Feud is really played that way right now, I am glad I stopped watching, as I hated doing Fast Money that way. I would just skip this game, unless you really want to play a Family Feud game. It loses its appeal really fast. While I really enjoy the overall gameplay of the show, this feels like a lifeless recreation of it, so I would just skip it.